ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਜੁਗੋ ਜੁਗੋ ਤੋਂ ਚੱਲੀ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਰੀਤ, ਆਓ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਗਾਈਏ ਗੀਤ। ਫੇਮਸ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫੇਰ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਮੈਂ ਮਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਂਡਿਡ ਟਾਕ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਬਾਈ ਫੇਮਸ ਸਿੱਖ। And before we move further, I would like to wish everyone a very happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. It is our first episode of 2021, and we are all set to start it on a sweet and a little spicy note. And that is why the guest we have is extremely special and influential in every possible way. We know him through his over 2 million social media followers, and yes, we are one of them. And if not yet, then I'm sure you will be following him post this show. Also, we know him as a restaurateur, entrepreneur, family traveler, chocolatier, and social and philanthropist. Oh my God, so many feathers. However, Sardar Harjinder Singh Kukreja ji is known for managing multiple feathers in his turban, and his humility glorifies it even more. So, with no further delay, let's invite the man himself.
And now, a man who needs no introduction.
Sat Shri Akal, Veer ji. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
A very happy new year, and thank you so much for being with us. It is my pleasure to host you.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year to you and your team as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I'm not going to delay and I'm not going to ask so much and say so much because we want to hear it from you. So let's start and talk about your journey. So what inspired you to get into the hospitality business? And please tell us more about your ventures.
Yeah. So hospitality has been like a family business for us. It's a 2 or 3 generation old business for us. Starting from Patna Sahib to Ludhiana, we have been in the hospitality industry. We've been into restaurants, into banquets, into outdoor catering for quite some time now. And like I wanted to carry forward the legacy of my parents, and it somehow I find it more glamorous and more suitable to me and my personality. So that's something which has always inspired me, and I chose to carry forward the legacy.
Super. So tell us about your brands that you own.
Yeah,
Of course, we know one is Yellow Chili, and we want to know more about it.
yeah. So the Yellow Chili in Ludhiana is the first ever franchisee of the Yellow Chili, and
Okay.
Sanjeev Kapoor, he partnered with us, and it's the first ever restaurant he opened.
Oh,
Alongside that, we also started the first French bakery in Ludhiana. So I'm sure Delhi, where you live, has you know got French bakeries way before Ludhiana. But in Ludhiana in 1998, we were the first. So we were the pioneers, and we've kept the flag high. And we also started a Belgian chocolate cafe called Belle France,
okay.
2015, which was inaugurated by the French ambassador.
Oh, that's great. I have seen a couple of pictures and I have to tell you, I wanted to have it like at that time only. I saw that COVID cake that you made and I'm going to show it to my audience also. Uh, can I please request my team to show the picture? Yeah. So this is something that I was like, I want to have it right away, right now. So please
It's not
tell
a
us
COVID
more.
cake. It's a bye bye Corona cake.
Yeah,
Like it's
bye bye Corona cake. Yes. Let's put it that way. So the other one also, I read somewhere that you made chocolate Ganesha ji and you were featured everywhere. So I
yeah.
want to know more about it.
So it's like 4 to 5 years we've been continuously making the chocolate Ganesha, and the idea was to inspire people to celebrate festivals in eco-friendly manners. And I'm sure like God would really want people to like share happiness. Like when we make the chocolate Ganesha, what we do is we immerse the chocolate idol into milk, and then we distribute the chocolate prasad to the kids, to underprivileged kids. So I'm sure that brings a smile, and that's the whole idea of festivals. So we always wanted to do something like that.
I want to know more about this picture. Can you please flash it again?
So in this picture, we tied up with, you can see RHA India is tagged. So there's this organization called Robin Hood Army, whom
Okay.
we tie up with every year when we make the chocolate Ganesha. They have a lot of connections in the slum areas because they frequently go and distribute chocolate milk to the underprivileged kids there. So every year we tie up with them and they take us to the right spots in the city where we can, because there's lots of chocolate milk, like around 100 kgs of that. So it takes a lot of time to distribute. So we take some people from our restaurant, we invite some volunteers, and then we tie up with RHA and then we go and distribute.
Another picture, please. And I was reading about that how actually diversity works when you guys make it, because there is Muslim chef that is involved, then there you are involved as a Sikh owner, and then making doing for Hindu festival. So it was something I want to know more from you only.
Yeah, I think that's the spirit of India. That's what makes India what it is. Uh, Coming together of different faiths for different festivals is a beautiful idea.
Yes, so true. I would like to show that picture to my audience, that how, and it was also something that I was like, no, I want to have it. I'll ask my team to flash the picture. I don't know, but I don't know. Something is okay. I'll show it. Just a minute. In the meantime, let's talk about the other one, that World Cup cake that you made. Hello.
Yes, so like what we always try to do is catch up with the trends. Like
Okay.
we have noticed even with the buy Corona cake, it was like catching up with the trend. And when it was the World Cup time, we really wanted India to win the World Cup. So it was our tribute to the team,
Wow.
to the country, and then we made the chocolate World Cup themed cake as well.
Okay, I think we are missing out on the pictures, but I'll surely show it to my audience. And guys, you have to have this one. It looks super yum. And whenever I'm coming to Ludhiana, I want to have it. Or whenever you're coming to Delhi, please get it for me. Yes, this one. Okay, so moving forward, you mentioned that your family was involved in the hospitality business from the beginning itself. But when you came in the picture, what was your role? Like, how did you do ground research, and what all aspects do you cover to start building upon the base provided by your elders, your family?
Yeah. So like we started Belfrance after I joined the family business. It has
Okay.
always been like they've always, the elders have always kind of been there to support. And but with Belfrance, what we did was like I had to travel to Belgium, learn about real Belgian chocolates, and
Okay.
try to reproduce that here in India, in Ludhiana specifically. Like
Oh,
really spent around 15 days, got some hands-on training about Belgian chocolates, and the whole idea was to give that real Belgian chocolate feel and mouth feel and aroma to the people of Ludhiana.
definitely it is. Okay, so of course we know that you are involved in hospitality, but at the very same time, you are a travel influencer, and which is travel influencer is a one thing, but the extraordinary and unique thing that I have seen. So I'll tell you, I'm a PR professional. I work as a public relation consultant. I tie up and I talk to travel influencers and live stream every day. But this is something which is really different. You are not just travel influencer. You take your family along, which
Yeah.
is so sweet and amazing. So I want to know more about it.
See, if you look at most of the travel influencers, they're traveling back to back. Many
Yeah.
of them have even, sold their houses, and they or not even married or not having children, like because they're so busy traveling. I am not like that. I'm, I think travel is a small aspect of my life which I'm really passionate about. I don't travel more than like once in 3 months or 4 months. But when I do, I create good content and like to share about that. And I plan my travels in a way that they have a real difference. They make a real difference. Like for example, I planned a trip with my family to the UK. So I made
Yeah.
sure that I meet the first Sikh MP in the UK, Tanmanjeet Singh Tesi, and he hosted me in the Parliament. So it was family travel, but it was meaningful travel as well. Like it was not just fun, but it was also and we celebrated the 550 years of Guru Nanak in
Oh, that
2018. But we planned it in a way that we could do something to coincide my travel with something meaningful that makes a huge impact. So that was the idea, and I always do that. Like I meet diplomats. I make it in a way that I plan my travel in a way that it's impactful and not just simple family travel.
yeah. So, talking about family travel, so I don't know. I haven't seen many family travel influencers. So, how did you think that, okay, I want to involve my family because obviously I'll be going back and forth, but at the very same time, I don't want my family to feel neglected in some way or the other. So, how did that come into picture? And at the very same time, I want to know that when did this journey start?
So like I think both my wife and I, what's how we think. Like many couples, think differently from us.
Yeah.
They their time which is exclusive of their kids. But somehow my wife and I, we feel that without kids, without our children with us, there's no fun. We keep missing them. Even if one of them is not present, the whole time we'll be talking about them only, right? So that's something which kind of completes us when we are with our children. So and also like my wife and I, both of us, we don't take alcohol. So there is no place where we have to go and the children can't come along. So we don't have that party kind of requirement where we have to go to clubs and all where we cannot take our children. So there's no place where our children aren't welcome. So they're always with us, and we travel together as a family. And
Yeah, I
also
have.
like very truthful, when I post pictures of just me or my wife alone, and when I post a family picture of five of us together, the engagement is like 10 times more. So I believe, let's give people what they want, right? So we create content which attracts more likes and which is more appreciated. So traveling as a family is also something which we love, and it's amazing for us. We love it.
And the best part is that I see, because I went through your profile and I saw a couple of pictures. There was this color coordination that I really liked. So I want to know about color coordination.
Yeah, so like every couple of months we travel to the Darbar Sahib Amritsar,
Okay.
and it's kind of a we creating a memory series where that's how our we can, over the years we can see how our children have grown, right? So every couple of months we go to Darbar Sahib and we click a picture while we are exiting from the Darbar Sahib. So that's something we try to do, like color coordination. People love it, and like we also love it. It's a great treat for the eye. So Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Undoubtedly, it is. It is. And they are so cute. I really want to say three of them are super cute. And the dimples that they have, oh my God.
Thank you. They've
Okay.
got the dimples from their mom. Interestingly, one of my uncles calls boys as because their dimples will be covered with the beard, right? So he calls him wasted dimples.
Okay.
And my daughter, she doesn't have dimples. And the boys have dimples, and they both got it from their mom. So very interesting, I think the daughter needed it the most, but the boys got it, and Ruth did not get it.
But three of them are really cute. Really cute. I want to reiterate it, but they are so cute. And you guys look like very happy, sweet family together, close
Thank
knitted, and at the same time, you guys are traveling together. So it is actually goals that people should learn, and I learned it that way. That okay, you can be a travel influencer if you want to, but at the same time, you can't neglect your family that you don't want to every time. So it was something that I like really admired. Okay, so we know that you love adventure and you're the first Sikh to skydive wearing your turban in 2014, and then first Sikh to scuba dive with your turban. So I want to know more about it.
Like what I always believed is that the turban is no hindrance. Even if a Sikh were to land on the Mars or the moon, the turban is irreplaceable. You have no excuse to not wear the turban, right? And the whole idea was to send a symbolic message that the turban is very, very important. Is as important as oxygen for a human being. And that was the idea, why I skydived with the turban, and
And
then also. So
I'm
it was more
sure
a
after
symbolic
you,
message.
sorry. Yes, please.
It was more a symbolic message that I wanted to give people.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure that after you did, people followed the trend, and you are the trendsetter. So I really liked when I read like,
There are hundreds of YouTube videos of turban skydives after mine. Yes. And it's very inspiring. Like a lot of Sikhs did different things. Like one Sikh took the Nishan Sahib to the sky and skydived with the Nishan Sahib. So very
wow.
interesting, how people, they have followed the trend and also innovated with the trend, which is very amazing. I'm really happy about that.
Okay, so we know that you're a firm and like follower of Sikh religion, and I have seen a couple of videos where you went to Gurdwara Sahib and gifted the mask and shields. So I want to know more about it, and along with that, I want to know that how do you plan to give back to the religion? Because you were born and brought up in Patna Sahib, which is Guru ki Nagri. So tell us more about it.
I think it's an ongoing process. We need to give back to our faith, to humanity, because giving back to Sikhism is giving back to humanity, doing good work
Right.
throughout. Like every day when I tie my turban, I think of how I need to give back to the society, because it's a reminder of the values that the gurus have guided us with. And I think we need to think about contributing, and once we do that, the guru will show the way.
So what all you have been doing or what all you have planned in the coming days, that what exactly you want to do? Anything that you have been doing, anything that you want to share?
So very recently, like in Ludhiana, we organized this Ludhiana for Farmers
Okay.
collection drive, wherein we invited the people of Ludhiana to contribute for the farmers who are at the Singhu and the Tikri borders, and Gazipur as well. So because we knew that there was a lot of food coming there, so we chose to collect non-food items. We had a list of things people could contribute, from umbrellas to blankets to jackets to woolens to thermals, and we were able to collect like a truckload of stuff. We earlier thought that we'll take a Tata 409, which is a very small vehicle, but in the end, we had to take a Tata 1409, which is at least 3.5 times bigger than the truck. And it was an amazing. And then we had 80 volunteers who went from Ludhana with us to distribute it at the Tikri border. So I take pride in being one of the many people who came up with this idea, and we could do this successfully. So that's some of my recent contributions to the society, I think. And I think through your channel, I would really like to tell people to please stand up for the farmers. They're at the borders, facing great chills. And,
That's wonderful. So, yeah, I have seen a video wherein you went to Gurdwara Sahib and gave shield, face shield. So it was something that I really like, that people who are not aware, you are also spreading awareness. At the same time, you are giving them, like right there, that what should be done and what are the things that we need to follow amid COVID. So that was something that I really liked.
yeah, I think that, if you talk about the environment, like Sikhs as a religion are very um, vocal about how important it is to save the environment. There are organizations like EcoSikh and Sikhs for
Yeah.
the Planet, right? So it's doing great work to create awareness among Sikhs about the environment. So when it was COVID time, I think what was missing was as a community, we needed to do more to create awareness about the pandemic that had hit upon us.
Right.
I was expecting that the Akal Takht Sahib Jathedar, he would send out a message wearing a mask, asking Sikhs to do that. What I think that Gurdwara should have been places where people could have been taught about, how to stay aware, which I think was a little bit missing. Even though the Gurdwaras did great service, the Sikhs did great service, I think, they were the people who made sure that a lot of organizations, by the way, a lot of temples, a lot of mosques, they started following and learning. The Sikhs were the trendsetters. Even they contributed. But the Sikhs
Right.
showed the way. When everyone was inside their houses, they came out and they started serving and inspiring other groups to contribute. So that was something which is very great.
It is, undoubtedly, it is. So, talking about going back, you talked about hospitality. So, I want to go back and talk more about it. So, what are the hardest times in your business that you have faced in the absence of your elders or a guide, and how, like, did you cope up with that? Because that is something that I want my audience to get to inspire from, and I want to know more about it, because you have been traveling and at the very same time you have various brands that you're handling. So I want to know that how do you multitask?
So I think multitasking is the key. It's very important to, like, so some problems are good problems. In fact, I think most problems are good problems. They leave you stronger. If many people, like, they think, if my problems go away, I'll be happy. But what they need to get, that the problems won't go away until you're living. And it's a good thing, if you have problems, which means you're living. And you're breathing, so you have problems, right? And it's very important. The bigger the problems, the bigger the chances of winning, and the bigger games you're playing. So if you have big problems, you're playing a big game. And you need to be strong in the face of whatever life throws at you.
So how do you manage through that we need to have that faith that if we want to do it then we'll do it, of course, but how do you manage, like, and you have your the best part is having a spouse who is there with you. So that is something that you already have, but I really want to know that how do you manage, like you have your ventures and then at the same time you're traveling, so how do you manage the time, and then you're traveling in some like to some other country wherein the time zone is also different.
Yeah.
So these are very small things that I want my audience to know and inspire, because people, like if I talk about me, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking that okay, I want to do this, that there are a lot of to-dos that I've made, but unfortunately I'm unable to kind of manage with multiple things. And I know that you have been managing. So tell us something more about it.
So as I told you, it looks like I travel a lot, but I
Okay.
don't really travel as much. In
Okay.
fact,
Okay.
whenever we travel, I tell my wife and my children, we're not going to have fun. We're going to create some good content. And
Okay.
and like having fun is a byproduct, right? So
Right.
when we travel, it looks like we've, like I went to Dubai last month, and I have content for another 1 month that I can post. Like I have
Wow.
like 20 amazing shots which I would love to share with people. You know, so like it's about the great content and the amount of content I create in my travels versus my extensive travel. It looks like I travel a lot, but I don't really travel as much. And and
Okay.
and what I think about, like, you said, how do you handle the challenges in work, right? So what I think is, if you're passionate about something, it doesn't occur like work. It's
Right.
like you don't even realize how you were able to handle that problem because you're passionate about it. You feel about it. You feel like it's pleasure. So
Right.
it doesn't occur like work, and it's easier to handle.
Right. Now I get it. And I think if I put it in a nutshell, then our takeaway would be that you can really change the world if you wish to. By world, I mean that if you want to do something, then you can do it. You just need the, like, I want to do it. That wish needs to be there.
Definitely.
Okay. So, I want to know that what is your advice to the budding entrepreneurs and people who want to get into the hospitality industry, because there are so many challenges. And being in the hospitality industry, you know that the time 2020 was really hard
Yeah.
on travel and hospitality. So, I want to know that what is your advice to them?
So I think passion is the key, and along with that, training and development is very important. Like generally, after school or college, we don't really spend on our training and development. It's very, very important that we keep learning, keep signing up for various courses, keep expanding who we are ongoingly, keep learning and acquiring information, and also unlearning things about ourselves. Like
Right.
some practices we are stuck with may not be very, very effective right now, and they may be
Right.
old. Giving that up and creating new ways of being, and like doing new stuff which you've not been doing. So that, I think, is the key thing in 2021.
So seriously, you put it very nicely. Actually, it's about I think it's about restarting and rebooting. If
Definitely. Yes.
this is what I have understood, and actually, it's about learning and unlearning, because there are so many practices that we were following, and in 2020, when it was like on a toll of on all of us, everything changed, and more than technical skills, people started doing life skills and soft skills, which was so good to see, which was really different to see. So, how was 2020 for you? Let's talk about it, because 2020 is something that will be discussed for years. So, I want to know how was 2020 for you?
Like, 2020 for me was not as bad as it was for many people that I know of. Right? God has been kind with us, and I think what kept us going was the faith, was the idea of contributing, the idea of not looking back, and the idea of focusing on helping others versus only thinking about ourselves. So that is something which has been, like, even in our we also have this plywood business where we focused on taking care of our employees versus like, looking at ourselves. Even in the pandemic, we were one of the only factories around us who took care of their employees, who who served them, made sure they had all three meals when no one was getting out of the houses. So, like that kind of helped us. Just serving others made sure that, our business was back on track as soon as things opened up. Because the people who work for us also got it that, they stood for us when we needed them. It's time to pay back. So that helped us come back very quickly.
And what are your expectations from 2021 as hospitality, as the person who is into hospitality and travel both? So, what do we expect from 2021?
I think all that we've lost in terms of business is going to be back and is going to be better in 2021 because people have been holding back and now they're going to let loose and they're going to like really spend. They're going to, so I think things will be back on track. There'll be newer jobs being created. There'll be expansions. New things will come up. A lot of infrastructure's been going on, like it's developing even in 2020. So I think 2021 is going to be great for travel, hospitality. It's going to be an amazing year with the vaccine being rolled out,
Right.
especially after June. It's going to be amazing.
So, another question about travel. So, I have seen, and being a PR professional, I know that everyone is an influencer these days. Everyone wants to be a blogger. You go somewhere, you post a picture, and then you think, okay, I'm a food blogger. You travel somewhere, then you're a travel blogger. But this is not how it is. You have, because creating content is not easy. It takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of challenge you need to go through when you create content. So there's a difference that I think between content creator and any other blogger. So what is your piece of advice to the people who wants to be a content creator? I'll not say travel blogger, but content creator.
So, like, there's a very popular saying, content is king.
Right.
You don't need to focus on the followers. Just focus on creating great content. And that's the key. Everything is about the content. So yeah, that's my advice. I think there's nothing else to say about this. Content is king.
So, whosoever want, like anybody who has done his graduation or post-grad and wants to get into the uh, blogging industry, and
Mhm.
there is one thing these days which is, I think, unfortunate. People don't focus on engagement and content. More than that, people focus on number of followers or number of XX followers that person should have or whatever. So what do you want to say to those people who want to is it about engagement and content, or is it about number of following?
So I think there's it's not one thing at a time. It's about everything together.
Yeah.
It's about being crazy about growing your following. It's about being crazy about creating great content, and it's about like, obviously if you have great following, genuine following, engagement will follow. But I think it's you need to create engaging content. So content is king, which is engaging, right? It has to be
Yeah.
engaging. Then it's great content. And
Right.
you need to focus on gaining your followers. It's very important to focus on your followers because
Right.
that's very important. Yeah.
Okay, so I think if we see it this way, that if content will be good, engagement will come, and if engagement will come, then of course following will increase. This is
Yes.
how it, right?
But like just by creating good content, engagement won't just follow. You need to have a strategy in place. You need to have your and every person is different.
Right.
You have to create your own niche. You have to create your own ways of growing on the platforms. So
Right.
the journey on social media is different for everybody. It has my story has no connection with someone else's story. You may have seen like how different my profile is from many other people, and
You're right.
I have my own like own engagement circle, own group of following. So that's very very important. Yeah.
So when did this start? If I'll go back to this question, which year, if I would know precisely, when did this your journey started?
So it was in 2016, that I got
Okay.
invited. where I got invited for the World Tourism Forum event, and
Okay.
like, and they wrote to me addressing me as an influencer, and that's
Okay.
the first time, like, I heard about the word social media influencer. You know,
Okay.
in fact, like, they were the one. I never wanted to be. I never knew that I could be, or I am, a social media influencer. And uh, that, I think, kind of kick-started my journey into focusing on creating content for the world.
So that was a day when you felt, okay, I am actually influencing people and I can take it forward from my microblogging.
And I think what really works about my most of the people you may have come across who are popular on social media will be
Right.
popular on one platform, unless of course they are Bollywood celebrities or sports persons,
Yeah.
like, they have all the three platforms working very well for them: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They're doing well on all the three platforms. But if you talk about influencers, they will have only one platform which is very strong, either
Right.
Instagram or maybe Facebook, right? But in my
Right.
case, I think what works is my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The three are quite strong, like the three pillars of strength for me.
And even I have seen a lot of engagement on LinkedIn as well, if I'm not mistaken, because I
Yeah.
have,
But
I'm a bad stalker
no, no,
and
but
I'm a proud stalker. So I did my research and you have a lot of engagement on LinkedIn as well.
yes, but comparatively, if you compare it with my Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, it is pretty low. But I feel, one LinkedIn engagement is better than 10 Facebook, you know, like, likes or engagement, because the people on LinkedIn are like so refined. They're
Right.
professionals. They come with a certain responsibility, and but yes, my LinkedIn is strong, definitely, but nowhere in comparison with my Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Okay. So I want to know you reply to them like on time if somebody pings you on Instagram or LinkedIn. Do you have that? Do you make sure that I want to respond to my audience? Or
So this is very, very important. I think, thank you for bringing this up. If someone comments in the reply section of my when I post on Instagram, I reply to every single person. I thank them
okay.
for commenting on my post. So that is something which is very important. I try to do that on Facebook also, on LinkedIn as well, to reply to people who engage with my posts. I may not reply to private messages.
Okay.
Mostly I don't, right? But I definitely reply to people who are, engaging with my posts, because I want them to keep engaging, and like, I'm like showing gratitude. And it's very important, that and to all the influencers or people who want to be bloggers or influencers, very important to engage with the people who are posting on your profile. Even if people have personal Facebook profiles here who are watching, they need to reply to every single person who's posting on their page. Even if they're wishing you a birthday or something, please reply. Please reply back. That's very, very important. It takes time, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, so true. And that is very basic as well. If I see it the other way, it's very basic. And of course, being an influencer, I know it is very difficult to respond to everybody, but at the same time, I think it's important.
Yeah, I think it is. Yes, definitely.
Okay, so my last question from this round is now that you're famous and like are on the show Famous Six, so what is the responsibility you uphold to be a face of the community?
So somehow, like, I don't feel that I'm worthy of being the face of the community, but definitely, as a humble servant of the Guru, I feel that, my actions are being watched, and I need to be, as an influencer, I need to be responsible for the way I am and how I communicate with people. What's the message I'm sending across? So
Yeah,
I'm present to that, and I am responsible for that.
super. So I have another round, which is like my favorite round. It is rapid fire. You must have played before, but of course, here you don't know the questions, and you need to be very rapid and uh, precise as well because I'm little finicky when I come to this thing. I want my answers to be very precise. Okay, so two things no one knows about you.
Even I don't know.
You need to tell me. I told you in the beginning itself that I am very finicky about it. I want to know my answers. Two things that okay, one thing that no one knows about you. At least your social media fam doesn't. Let's put it this way.
I have no reply for this.
You have no reply for this. Oh my god. But anything like very basic, very,
Maybe we can
very
come back to this question. We can come back to this question.
okay, okay, that works, that works. So if you were not in the hospitality and the travel industry, what would you have chosen?
I would have been an astronaut.
Really?
That's like a fantasy, right? So why not? Hypothetical.
Okay. So what scares you the most?
Death scares me the most.
That is like same fear that I have. And after 2020, oh my god. Okay. Any influencer or any travel blogger that you want to tie up with? Of course, if you want to work with some other influencer, travel influencer, like which one is your favorite? Or if you want to collaborate with somebody else.
There are many. There's a travel couple. They're sailing these days. They called Two Monkeys Sailing. A
Oh,
Filipino British couple. They're good friends of mine, and I would love to tie up with them. They are great to be with. And along with that, there's one David's been here. So just these two, definitely.
nice. I'm gonna check and follow these people because if you are telling me that they are good, then I'm sure they will be. Okay, so what is the craziest thing that you have ever done?
I think you're leaving me speechless again and again. I'm feeling very guilty.
I told you already that I do this with my guest. I'm not I'm very mean host. I'm very nasty about it. So and I'm proud about it.
Okay, the
So yeah.
next question, please.
Okay, if you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy? Like very basic thing. And
Food.
yeah, food. If you want to have something right away, that what
Butter
would it?
chicken, my anytime, all-time favorite.
Okay. In between, I'm sorry, I have a comment. Tamandeep Singh Bindra, he says, I'm the biggest fan and follower of Harjinder Singh Kukreja VG, and it's almost more than 10 years following him on social media, and I feel honored I created his website. So, anything that you want to say to him?
No, no, Taman Viji is a super sweet person, and I'm really happy that he created this beautiful website for me exactly as per my requirement. I wanted a very simple website, and I think only he could have delivered it so well, so fast, and so beautifully. Thank you so much, Viji.
Okay, so coming back to my questions, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
So I think the power to fly around the world with my wings, that's
Wow.
something which
Of course. And going back to my first question, because that is my last question, uh, please tell me that. I'll repeat it. Two things no one knows about you.
I think, my life is an open book and everyone knows everything about me. That they should know. That they should know.
Okay. So this was actually my last question, but I got it from my team. One more question, which is so I have a digital person whose name is Harshpreet Singh Basin, and you must know him. So he wants to know, he's a ninja guru, digital guru. So he wants to know the business growth hack. This is what he has asked, and he thinks that entrepreneur like you can answer this best. So, what is the business growth hack?
I have said this before as well uh, on this very show. I think passion is the key. When you're passionate about something, it really helps. It's a wonderful, it keeps you going. It keeps you, like, you don't get tired if you're passionate about something. So whatever business you're going to get into, please get into that only if you're crazily passionate about that. Like, you can die for that.
Right.
You're not out there to make money. You're there because you love that business. I think that is something which will really help you expand.
Okay, I hope Harshpreet, you have got your response. And in between, I saw one of the comments, which is Gurpreet Singh Sahai. He says, Harjinder, you have been making us proud. Bravo. Anything that you want to say to him?
Yeah, so Gurpreet Pari, thank you so much for your beautiful words. I hope to meet you soon and keep making you proud.
And there was one more comment. I request my team to please flash it. Famous Sikh is undoubtedly a channel dedicated for Sikh heroes. I wish them all good luck. So, of course, it is for. Thank you so much, Kanwarbir Singh ji. I hosted him a couple of weeks back, and he's too good. So, he is indirectly, he's calling you another hero, and yes, undoubtedly you are. So, anything that you want to say to him and the famous Sikh team,
Yeah.
any message that you have?
To cover BG, great. Thank you so much for your beautiful message, and it's amazing to be featured on this channel, just like you have been. Great, nice to have come across your message. And I would really like to thank you, Manpreet ji, and Harshpreet ji, and Taman Singh Bindra ji for this beautiful platform that you've set up, where you can bring Sikhs together one by one for the world to see and to get like how people think in the community, getting the message across. I think it's a great platform, and thank you so much for having featured me on this channel of yours.
Thank you so much, VG. It was really honor for me, and it was quite a good. So I tell it to my every guest, and I bore them with the same line. But the thing is that I love calling my Sundays a little bit of motivational Sundays, wherein people are doing leisure. I feel that okay, I want to get like 1 hour. I want to dedicate wherein I'm interviewing these people from where I can just learn something. They don't want to tell, but I will ask them. Like I'll nudge them to that level कि मैं उन्हें तो कुछ ना कुछ सीख ला. And that I have learned from you, which is multitasking, and the humility that you have is amazing. So thank you so much for being with us. It was indeed a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I hope you like the show. And again, मैं अपने सारे गेस्ट ਨੂੰ अपने ऑडियंस ਨੂੰ ਆਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਨਵੇਂ ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਵਧਾਈ। ਮੈਂ ਮਨਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਵਿਦਾ ਲੈਣੀ ਆ, ਔਰ ਫਿਰ ਉਹੀ ਕਹਾਂਗੀ, ਵੱਡਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਤਿਕਾਰ, ਛੋਟਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ, ਫਿਰ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਐਸੀ ਸਮੇਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਐਤਵਾਰ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।